Is this your king? Sorry.
I'm out.
That was bad. They might as well fight in the parking lot. You know, let's just really just say
We gotta fight now. Everybody deeply did.
I was rooting for you. We all were rooting for you.
Hello, welcome to We Watch That Too. I am your co-host, Nina Scott.
And I am Joy Grant.
And in this show, we are basically discussing and watching together Insecure. In this episode, we're looking at the season finale. And
Yeah, so let's get into a recap of last week just so we can remind everyone what went down in the Lawrence vs. Nathan episode, aka the Molly vs. Issa episode.
Yeah, it was a really good episode. First, it was just shocker after shocker after shocker because it started off with Issa laying on the couch with what's his name? Lawrence.
And us sitting here like, it's not real, it's not real, it's not real. It's real?
It was so intimate. So not only did she happily walk away from her Deke appointment, she kept going back for what looks like weeks. We can only assume a month if we're looking at it in the same time scale as the rest of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Kept going back. She kept going back so much that we don't even really know what was going on with Nate at that point.
Right. So then she brings up her helping him pack. She tells Lawrence ahead of time to have that conversation because now communication is important. So there's that. And then she goes home and we see her. Then we flip to Molly's therapy.
Molly was in therapy and we were ecstatic because the entire season we were looking for Molly's therapist. We're like, where is her guidance?
That's what I liked.
Exactly. And Joy has a really great point that Issa too needs to be in therapy. Molly seems like she probably has more access. Or she says she has more access. I don't know how Issa's insurance looks. I'm assuming she
Where would she be getting insurance from?
Yeah, that's why I was like, she's over 25. She's not on her mama's insurance. Molly definitely has access to it. So we were so ecstatic to see Molly back in therapy. And her therapist basically raised the question, like, are you willing to work on your relationship with Issa? Which I thought it was really interesting that she's basically in a one-sided couples counseling.
Basically. I mean, that's what all therapy is. You're talking about all your relationships without those other people there. So
it's
then
see it on television.
You're like, oh, so that's what I look like in therapy.
Literally.
So then we see Molly at home and she wants to call Issa so bad because she wants to talk to somebody about Nathan and her problems as usual. And so she wants to call Molly and we see a flash of what looks like her having a terrible conversation that we do not want her to have where she's like, hey, so I called to talk about my problems and nothing about you. But that didn't happen. Thankfully, this one was fake. And they went to lunch and had basically like an associate lunch because like it was just very like, oh hey girl.
I thought the brunch, in retrospect, the brunch was really cringy. Watching it initially, I thought it was good to see Issa making strides because I hadn't seen her do that yet. And I felt like it was the least she could do.
It definitely was, and it started off very awkward, but then by the end they were laughing and joking, and we thought everything was cool until Molly gets to going to see Andrew, and then she's like, yeah, she ain't even bring it up, and it was just really fake, right? And so then we see her helping Nathan, and we see her communication again when she's like getting this awkward vibes of just like, oh, like
the topic, hey friend. I'm just gonna let him know, and then he'll know, even though I've never let him know up to this point because I was past trying to be with him. Whatever.
And so then he's like, wait, you're back with who? And basically dogged Lawrence. And
he dogged Lawrence through Issa.
He was like, the dude you cheated on? Wow, bold. And so then they kind of like, then he brings up, she's like, well, you ghosted me. So like, how are we, like, what do we? And he's like, hold on, I was going through some things like I told you. And then he went and broke it down and was like, found out that he is bipolar and like he was dealing with all of that. And they had like a decent little moment. We go back to Molly, see her and Andrew, and they're arguing over his brother, which I just don't understand. Me and you don't understand why this is a conversation. Like, so then we see Issa and Nate interrupt this argument, and because they come in to get some more of his boxes.
Issa was like,
and they should have just left. But this is TV, so of course they stayed and like ate dinner and had drinks, and it looks like it's going decent. You know, everything looks like it's fine, as it of course it will, until a text accidentally gets sent to Issa from Molly that's meant for Andrew, and now Issa's basically like, I don't know what you want from me. Like, I'm sorry that it's so hard for you to be around me. Like, and they basically have it out. Molly basically wants her to beg for her to be her friend. She's like, there's nothing else for us to do. And then Issa's like, yeah, I guess there isn't. And she's like, that's all?
Yeah.
That's all? Yeah, and so we ended the episode with a friendship breakup. In my eyes, there's nothing else for us to say to each other.
It was such a real breakup, too. Like, it was... Guess there's nothing else for us to do there. We're two different people, and those people don't exist anymore. Go on.
We've all been there. So yeah, now any predictions are there? Okay, so I want your Lawrence and Nate prediction. Who do you think she's gonna choose?
I think I personally would want her to choose Lawrence. Plot twist, it doesn't even sound right coming out of my mouth. But like, I feel like Nate, I don't really remember them having as strong of a connection as she did with Lawrence, or that I'm assuming that she did with Lawrence, because like with her and Lawrence, it's just like backstory. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were together for so long, and we see them kiki and laugh a lot more, whereas she and Nate are still gonna know each other. But I think that she's gonna feel guilty about choosing Lawrence because she has a different attachment to Nathan, where like she's like, oh no, but you don't understand, he is working with mental illness. I can't like be someone else that's shaky in his life. He at least needs my friendship. And yeah, we talked about that last time. That's what I think will happen. I don't think it's
all gonna blow up in her face. I think it's all gonna blow up in her face, and she's gonna end up by herself. I just can't see it any other way. Like, I really, y'all, for as long as we've been watching this and going over this, it's been on my mind so much. Like, Lawrence and Issa have appeared in my dreams, y'all. Like, this is, like, on multiple occasions.
Or just Lawrence?
Both. They're both in my dreams together. Like, after this episode, I was like, so I had a dream. Never mind. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. But basically, I think it's going to blow up in her face. Like, okay, but yeah, so I think it's going to blow up in her face. And she's going to go about everything the wrong way, which is just true Issa fashion. I'm sorry. I want more of her, but I've only seen one episode where she's gone about things the right way. That was last episode. I need to see more to be a believer. So yeah, I think like Lawrence is gonna be like, yo, you like basically be like, you're being shysty, going behind my back, and you know he's got like this I've been cheated on whole thing. And then Nate, I think he's gonna pressure her and be like, yo, you gonna choose this whack dude over me? Like this dude that you didn't even want to be faithful to the first time, you're gonna choose him over me? And I think it's just gonna explode in her face, and she's gonna end up by herself.
How hazel-eyed of him.
You heard it here first. So, yeah, that's where we are, folks. Stay tuned for all of our reactions to the craziness. Think he gonna ask her to come?
That's real to ask. What about your work?
She just gave up so fast. I feel like it was a war, and she just conceded. She waved that white flag immediately.
The corner office assistant. They got it, Vincent. I'm kidding.
You know what? Get it how you live it, East. Get it how you live it. Whatever. I judged her a lot off of that. I'm gonna let it go.
Listen, I'm like, wow, if life could be so easy to just be the go in ready chick, wow, that's, listen.
I guess it pays to not have a lot going for you. Stop. I'm not gonna play my good sis Issa no more. That jacket is so cute.
He just fully extended his arms.
We gotta teach Andrew how to point, because Andrew said
Asian. Asian. It would have been better if he would have done this. He knows how disrespectful this is.
He said,
Who raised? So was he adopted? What was that? Was it a package deal? Him and his brother? Who raised him? No Asian family would have ever told him to point with this whole finger in public with the arm extension. That's some little kid stuff.
in a room full of Black people. Yeah, I needed Molly to step up the training.
She laughed. This is acted. This is officially scripted.
Now, so if that's too much,
It's not.
Cause he gonna be more than friends.
Be honest, bro.
I said I'm so into him in this scene. I'm not saying I would risk it all, but like, does she not want to right now?
I do.
Really on my character. I'm just saying.
He just seems a little taller, a little bigger.
They made sure they had to do a side by side something because I know she's tall, but I'm just like, he always seems so scrawny, and now his voice sounds deeper. Like they're trying to really sell home
It's
that.
because boys always put on their deepest voice when they want something. Okay, that's it. It ain't no secrets. We know. Yes. They be like, let me drop it 2 octaves.
Oh my god.
And that's facts. You heard it here first.
I'm gonna show her a photo and see what happens. Ashley!
You better not do that. You better not show them no photo.
This is very much like Looking for LaToya.
I'm so happy that they played up, that we get to, I'm just really happy of what's going on here. Not necessarily what's happening in their lives, but I wanted to see more of like what was going to happen because she was showing signs of postpartum depression the entire season. I'm like, are we going to talk about it, or is it just going to be in the background? And I'm supposed to be inspired to talk about it in real life.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Which I've been wanting to see more of, like the friends outside of Molly.
Right. And this is like literally like, oh, looking for LaToya. Oh, police won't take a Black woman being missing serious. Which I feel like this is probably, it's probably not even, she's not even missing. She probably just turned her phone off and literally slept through. Like, but
just bring up, y'all didn't take me serious.
Mm-hmm.
He said, how cute when he said, perfect looking.
Perfect looking. Oh,
you don't describe me like that. I don't want to be married.
A man. Who knew Derek would be my favorite man on this show?
You right. Everybody back off Derek.
I'm Kelly in this situation.
All I was thinking was Derek's not perfect, but at least his heart is in this chase. She was like, hold up, man. That's pertinent information.
Pertinent.
You right.
Everybody back off Derek.
She was ready to fight Derek. I love how much she loves her friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know.
I'm enjoying this episode.
We're already halfway through. This search is making it go fast.
You know, sometimes it's not all we thought it was gonna be.
Okay, I feel like that moment was supposed to hit a lot harder. Like they're
Hit my heart.
hit. Okay, all right. Maybe just not me.
It touched my heart because I just wanted to see more of them being in love, and I felt like that was a real moment of I really care about you. And I saw that the whole time. That's why I was like, this is terrifying because I was speaking from his perspective of like, you don't know if you, because he's been seeing her be depressed, and he was saying like, I should have done something. So imagine just knocking at a hotel door after she like ran away. You really don't know. You don't, like, can you even, there's just so many scenarios of what could have been behind the door, and this was the best option of what could have been behind the door.
That's why I'm sitting here like, this is the best option. Like, everybody crying.
No, this show, if it would have went left at any of the points, even the officer thing was a lot.
That was a lot.
It was a lot, and I don't, even Molly stepping into her lawyer position, I was like, is this realistic? It was just a lot.
Yeah. Yes.
Best scenarios and all the things that could have happened.
Who even knew?
I want to say I had a feeling, but I didn't. And now, in retrospect, I'm saying I've been feeling this way for a while now. I can totally, he had every reason to feel like, all I do is bend for you. Because I feel like he was bending a lot. And I thought that it was going to be a problem way sooner. Like, even when the first situation with her working all the time. I mean, it's real. I'm not mad at her.
No, I think it even a lot to do with like Issa. And it's just like, it's always about you. I don't even think it's just bending. It's just every situation we're in is always about you.
Yeah.
And I think as women, we're all kind of like guilty of that a bit. Just because I
said, I can't deny it. I'm the center of my universe.
Yeah.
I always say, and the only person I think about when I wake up and when I go to bed is if I'm okay.
And I don't even mean even in the sense of are we not thinking about each other, because that's just a very early 20s thing, thinking about yourself. But even like men don't dominate the conversation as often as women do. And so in a situation, if I'm constantly dominating the conversation and I'm constantly bringing up things that deal with me, of course we're going to deal with the things that deal with me more.
Yeah.
And you can see that very easily in their conversation. Like, it's always about her relationships, her work, all of that. And he just doesn't bring up his stuff. And so it's like, it's on her, but it's also on him. Like,
yeah.
But he did say earlier, like, he did bring up the work thing earlier, but.
When they were arguing, but then the argument got interrupted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is like, yikes.
She begging like she wanted Issa to beg.
My interpretation was that he just sees her wanting like the idea of them, and he wants to actually be happy in his situation. Because that's what I got when she was automatically like, what was all this time for? My immediate cringe was like, that time does not matter. The time that I was happy is what matters the most, because that's like how I think.
But you have to think about it. She was happy. He's
I know.
The one who wasn't.
And he didn't say anything, so this for her is a blind side.
Mm-hmm. Girl, I done lived there. You could rent my house there if you want it, because I'm never going back. What? She's pregnant.
Last night.
What is it? I knew it! Lord, what have we done? Oh no!
Tell me why I want to cry.
I'm hurt. I am hurt.
I just went through so many emotions. I'm like, why can't Issa ever have what she wants?
I am hurt. Oh, I'm hurt.
I really put myself in her shoes. Am I just expected to be like, I'm not, this is my dude, I'm still gonna.
I am hurt.
And then also was like, so what clinic do we go to?
I want to cry. I really want to cry.
I want to cry. I literally felt tears behind my eyes.
I could, like, if I blink too hard, I'll let them out. Like, and I could feel a sob too. I could feel a Mariah Carey wall slide too.
I am so sad. on levels. I've never experienced this. I'm young. But like I am so sad. I went through so many thoughts. I'm like, okay, so what clinic do we go to? What do we do with Condola? Am I expected to just put up with this and you having a kid? And this is a lot.
They have to break up. They have to.
Issa have everything she wants.
She can't.
A lot of people don't break up. I personally would.
She needs to. I won't watch the next season if they don't. I won't. I will not stand by and raise somebody else's child. Think about it this way. She wanted Lawrence. Now she has him.
Who, Condola?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't seem like it.
She wanted, remember she was calling him that whole episode. Like she wanted him.
How many months pregnant is she? Because this is at least 2 months of.
They're having the baby, Nina. They're having the baby.
I just want to know how long the chick knew about it. Because if she waited this long past the point where she could do anything about it, to me, that's malicious.
I'm mad at this show. I'm mad at Insecure. I'm mad at Issa because I didn't want Issa and Lawrence together. I didn't want that. Okay, they made me want that. They're like the man who comes up to you and you're like, I was fine by myself, and then you made me want you, and then you what?
I said, stop! You're gonna make me cry.
No. I'm gonna say it. I was fine by myself. You came over here, bothered me. You came over here checking on me, see how I was doing. Okay, Insecure. I was fine with Issa and Lawrence not being on good terms. And then you put them on my face. You gave me the rom-com feels that I didn't even know I wanted. And now you're doing this to me? This hurts.
And you can see the tears behind his eyes because he knows she's gonna
leave. This hurts. Hurts.
It hurts. I think if I would have been watching this by myself,
I would be in tears.
Okay, I'm glad you said it first.
The only thing stopping me is this recording. Even if we weren't recording, I'd be in tears. Nina, I would have just started crying and been like, this is how life is.
Because I felt it behind when I saw his watery eyes, my eyes watered. And I was like, oh shit, where is this
because
going?
I'm like, for 2 seconds, I was like, dang, he really worried about Tiffany. And then I'm like, this ain't about no damn Tiffany.
Because no, when he walked in, I was like, where was he with his friend? He was there when the baby was born, admiring him and his daddy role and all that. Like, where were you when his wife was missing?
He was out here finding out that Condola pregnant.
He was out here finding out that he's a whole father.
And the thing is, I was catching weird vibes from him at the farmer's market. Like, I'm like, why is he? I don't know. I don't know.
I felt like the vibes I got at the farmer's market, because I'm assuming this is before the farmer's market. The farmer's market was probably that earlier that day, as we could assume. I don't know, by like the timeline. But the vibes I got from him was like, are you going to leave me now that I'm going to San Francisco?
Okay.
Which was even more relatable to me. I was like, oh, that's so sad. And then, because I feel like this whole episode is him being insecure about being able to keep Issa in his life. And it really lived up to his name, Insecure, because I've gotten to see everybody be super insecure in this episode. But like, a baby? I kind of am mad at the show too, because I'm I'm really tired. Like, I feel like there's a world where this cannot happen, right? But I'm also not their age, and I'm like, I'm just tired of the story of dudes getting other girls pregnant. And he looks so human right now. Like, he looks so much like, oh, I fucked up.
That's raw emotion. I can't. I'm gonna have to rewind it.
I feel like he cried to prepare for this.
I did not see me getting this hurt. I saw Issa not getting what she wanted, but because of herself. I didn't see it like her not getting him because she messed up. I was okay with.
Condola pregnant, can't handle it.
All right, I'm gonna
rewind. I didn't see this coming, and I'm really upset.
I'm gonna rewind.
Remember, we really didn't even want him in the show.
No.
And now they humanized and they showed us how pink his lips could get and how low his fade on the side could get. And now I don't know how to act.
A lot. I know. Okay, we're still processing everything.
what's gonna happen is that they're both gonna cry in this restaurant together. That would be fun. Who's gonna go first? I'll start. I really thought I was gonna like this episode, and I just have to say, I hated this so much. We're both tired. I didn't feel like I had to be in this story.
It was already complicated enough.
I did like what Issa said about like a milestone taken. I agreed with her. I thought about that too. Cause it's like he's having his first kid. The moment he said we, I was like, oh, so there's a unit outside of
we're still processing. And I'm like, that you have to be done. Like, I could not hear that once. I cannot hear a we with my man that's not me. Like, there's no, like, what is it? I just
we.
No.
I'm exhausted. Why? I just don't feel like it needed to be in the story with me.
And I know a lot of people are gonna be like, because I mean, honestly, if Issa and Lawrence are together next season, I'm not gonna be able to watch it personally. And I'm not kidding at all.
I know you're serious.
I'm done. So I'll watch the first episode to see, even if they're tiptoeing playing, like, are we gonna be together? No. And I know a lot of people are watching, especially Team Lawrence is like, well, he got back with her after she cheated. She didn't get pregnant.
Known each other since they were in college, so they've probably talked. Definitely, if he already had like a ring and everything before, I'm assuming they already talked about something.
They had names. They knew if they wanted the first one to be a boy, a girl. They knew. No, and you're going. I'm
not super upset with him either, because I get he didn't plan it.
No,
I just think the situation isn't fixable. I feel like it's kind of problematic that I felt for his perspective, like I was being taken captive into fatherhood. I'm like, because I'm speaking as Lawrence, I can't just not be present. And then like if I'm not, then people are gonna be like, well, you lay down, you could take care of that baby. I really can't, and I really didn't want to. And I really feel like you took me hostage. And I know that's problematic, but I don't know any other way to articulate it.
I understand. There are just so many, and Insecure is a great show because it just showed so many angles of one situation. Because I see Condola too, and she, like she did what everybody wants, what every person, even every dude would want you to do in that situation. Gave him an out, said, I want this baby. I understand if you don't, but at the end of the day, it's not that simple. Anything else that happened in this episode literally is just like gone.
I wasn't mad with seeing her and Molly talk, because I'm like, who is Issa gonna talk to? Because realistically, what I would have done if that was my only friend and we were beefing, because that's how she makes it seem like that's her only friend. Because I wouldn't have talked to my mom about it. I wouldn't have talked to Nathan about it. I wouldn't have talked to Molly about it. I personally probably would have checked myself in somewhere so I could Are you thinking that too?
No, I would have ended up on my mama's couch bawling. Like, that's exactly, I would have been on my mama's couch bawling, boo-hoo, crying for days, okay? Anytime, that's where I would have been, personally. Because here's my issue with her going and talking to Molly. Molly's whole issue with Issa this season was Issa being messy, Issa having a messy life. And so you're going to come and bring this drama to her. I couldn't trust her that much. I couldn't trust her.
I see that too.
At all. That's why when I saw her sitting down, I'm like.
But also I think it gotta work, because when dude like broke up with her, I was like, oh, the reason I had that reaction, I was like, oh, Issa's words hurt even more now, because she was like, when this thing with him don't work out, I was like I reheard that in my head when she got dumped, and I was like, whoa.
I don't think either of them should have ran to either of them. Like, no, I don't understand. Love don't live here no more. I just, the next thing you show me is her meeting up with her friend who was talking about her and the dude that she was just with. That just not realistic to me. It just doesn't calculate. Never on the list.
I'm checking in somewhere.
And that's probably what I'm gonna do. Number 3.
No, I'm going straight there. I don't know. Check on me. I may send a little hootie hoo through the mail or something, which means in 3 to 5 days, advocate for me that I don't need to be in there.
No, I just
sleep. Ooh, that's the type of sad that like you wake up and before you open your eyes, it hits you.
Before every day you wake up and you're like, damn. You can't even thank God for your life yet. You just wake up like, shit. I can't believe I gotta live through this shit.
You wake up and you don't even open your eyes. It's just dark and you're like, is this my life?
And I gotta edit this because I'm gonna have to rewatch this episode. Other than that, I would never watch this episode again. No, all right, let's talk about the other stuff from the episode. Okay, so we kind of already talked about them finding Tiffany. We already talked about that.
I feel like with one thing I didn't say about Andrew and Molly's situation when you just don't want to do it anymore. One thing I didn't talk about, I feel like we finally gotten a realistic answer or response from him for everything that's happened the entire season. And also it kind of makes me look at him different. Because there were several situations that happened where I was like, oh, I would be really irritated and he was just seemingly okay. And now I have a problem with him pretending to be okay. That to me, I don't like that.
Dude,
that alone would be like, oh, so you were faking.
Dudes do that so often where they're like putting up with stuff that they didn't want to put up with, and then they'll throw it in your face later and be like, yeah, and then there was this. And I'm the type of person where at this point, if you bring something up that happened any longer than a couple weeks ago, I'm triggered and I'm out. Bring it up now or never speak on it. You said what?
That is so you. We differ in that, as in like I told you before, I process things much later.
Cause it's like, are you keeping a list? Are you keeping track? Like,
I be keeping lists, but I tell people stuff as I notice them. So when I bring up something later, it just now became apparent to me that now I have a problem with what happened. Like I just processed it. It's not that I was really writing down wrongs and never told you what. I'm gonna tell you every single time. But I also would be a liar if I said I didn't write it down, because I've been in situations where like I bring stuff up, like I said, as it comes up, but I've also written it down on paper and been like, yikes, I gotta get out of here. And it was even like, I really realized it. I was writing it down and somebody else accidentally saw my paper and was like, you gotta go. I was like,
it do be like that.
Yeah.
AKA, they do that.
No problem with him not saying anything. That makes him so not ready to get with me now that he's single.
Screaming. Kelly was good comedic relief.
Kelly was awesome. I want more of their friends in the show, to be honest. Because it was nice to see like Kelly reaching out to Issa like after all the bullshit happened. Because we were reminded she has more friends than just, like Molly. They're a group. And I feel like I'm constantly in friend groups, and sure you have like the person that you're like closest to on occasion, or maybe sometimes you're equally close to everybody, but like you still are friends with everybody. So when these bad things happen, everybody here is a go-to. They're all your friends, especially when the circle is only 4. It's not like there's some huge group, like some high school group. It's 4 people. It's 4 grown women who all have been friends together for a while. Y'all travel together. What's the problem? This shouldn't have happened because exes should not become currents. They should stay an ex.
Moral of the story. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in and watching this and being on this roller coaster ride for us. Thanks for watching this season with us. We hope you enjoyed it. All of our links are gonna show up somewhere over here.
And if not, all around there, down there.
Right. So yeah, take some time, debrief, watch
something happy.
Watch something happy, because that's what I'm gonna do. We'll catch you next time. Bye.